Hi there, beautiful souls. Welcome and thank you for watching. I'm Gabrielle, retired medium in Germany, and I like to share some of my otherworldly experiences and insights. So, this is about the bigger picture, Earth and the solar system. You know, when I was in school, we saw these kind of depictions of our solar system with the sun and the planets, and then there was the asteroid belt and the outer planets. And I hadn't learned to question when I was younger. I'm learning it right now. So I just took that, and that was it. But now all these kinds of questions pop up within me. Looking at the asteroid belt, well, that clearly looks to me, today and now, like something smashed or exploded. And, well, when I talked with my guides about that and did my research, I found that, of course, there was a planet once. The planet Maldek or Tiamat or whatever name it is given in the various ancient texts. So, in astronomy, comparing different solar systems, there is clearly this position of a super Earth, how they call it, a planet bigger than Earth, in kind of the same distance from the Sun, like in our Sun or solar system. So, okay, there was a planet that exploded. My guides told me because of war, because the beings on that planet had war with the beings on the planet Mars. They were kind of very similar. They were the elongated skull beings, and Mars was kind of a moon of that super Earth planet. And they exploded that planet because of their war. So that was it. And now a new question popped up within me just recently, and I asked myself, well, what happened to the souls incarnated in the elongated skull beings on planet Maldek when it exploded? And instantly I remembered the scene from the Star Wars movie where this one planet is exploded and destroyed by the so-called Death Star. And like Obi-Wan Kenobi and some others are feeling and sensing that in an instant of a second, a whole planet with all the population and incarnated souls in bodies there vanished, was smashed, exploded. And they said, I feel a shaking in the power or in the force. So when I was pondering about what happened to the souls of the exploded planet, I got a vision, and that was not very nice. It was quite uncomfortable because I saw the soul nod, like thousands and 10,000s of soul that kind of excarnated or transitioned very traumatically in an instant when the planet exploded, and they just kind of clung together in a soul nod, and they were constantly screaming. I could not really stand that screaming, and that vision kind of tore my heart apart. And when I asked my guides about that, they said, yes, it is like that. And slowly, over a long period of time, some were able to leave the soul nod. And where did they go to continue their soul journey in incarnated bodies to have more and other experiences to grow and learn from. So the only habitable planet was Earth. And I had in my QHHT therapies and hypnosis sessions quite a few clients that clearly said that they come from Mars. Isn't that interesting? So when this planet exploded, that is now the asteroid belt, of course Mars was affected by that as well, being as a moon quite close to that exploded planet. And some managed to flee with spaceships, first to the moon, then to the Earth. Some went underground and survived there when the atmosphere of Mars was stripped away by the explosion, and there's still this scar on one side of Mars. So, as far as I know by now, approximately 25% of humans walking the Earth right now have Martian souls, and there are also a lot of Maldekian souls, or souls from Tiamat, however you want to call that exploded planet. And Earth was willing, as the conscious being that she is, to withheld her own ascension, to take on these souls in bodies so that they can continue their soul journey. Do you know what that makes me feel? It's deeply humbling to me that a being much higher in consciousness and frequency, like we are, that is the beautiful blue planet we live upon. We're trampling around on her skin, drilling holes, taking out kind of her blood, oil, and all kinds of stuff, not even aware that this is a conscious living being. And she kind of withheld her own ascension for us. To me, that makes me feel humbled, and I get the feeling I owe her something, not out of obligation, but because, it's deeply touching to me, that kind of sacrifice or gift. And now at the end of the great cycle where we are, all this will come to fruition because Earth is ascending, whether we go with her or not. And I was like that before, when I started finding out things. I thought, even as a child, everything is wrong here, everything feels kind of off, and there is something deeply wrong here, and people don't really tell the truth. I could feel as a child that they were thinking and feeling something different than what was coming out of their mouths. So I had the impression that grown-ups are lying, whether it was consciously or not. So, I mean, if she did that for us, I want to go with her. And in the beginning, I was like that, I want to get out of here. Everything is wrong, doesn't feel right. I'm from somewhere else. And then I found out that, well, of course, I have a star lineage. My soul is not from Earth originally. Okay, no problem, I can integrate that. And still I wanted to get out of here. But now that's changing, and I'm very happy that I kind of fall in love with Mother Earth and Mother Nature, and how beautifully everything is working if humans do not interfere. So that's what I wanted to share today. maybe give you a different view about the planet you live upon and about the bigger picture. Like Rudolf Steiner said, in the kind of circle of the involution of spirit into matter, there is, of course, life on all the other planets as well, and it's far, far ahead of us. In my own QHHT hypnosis session, one of them, I had the experience of an incarnation, another lifetime as a Sufi, a dancing, whirling dervish, and I was going through an initiation with a very weird Persian master everybody called the crazy one at that time. Felt like medieval times around 12 or 1300. And I got kind of the last part of the initiation from that master, which I could kind of relive and rewatch in my QHHT hypnosis session. And the last or ultimate part of the initiation took place on planet Venus. So I kind of traveled there during the QHHT out of body and relived that initiation where I melted with my female part, because in that incarnation as a Sufi I was male. And I saw the beings and the landscape on Venus, which is not visible to our 3D eyes, because with that kind of view we only see a barren, rocky planet that's too hot and cannot bear life and stuff like that, what science tells us. I stopped believing in science as well, because, science is more or less the whore of funding money. Who pays for a study can also dictate the result. So even Napoleon said, history is written by the victors. He should have said rewritten, because we see examples of that even in ancient Egypt, where they kind of destroy depictions of various pharaohs that they, or gods or whatever, that they did not want to be known any longer. So there is kind of a false history accompanying humanity. We don't know our true history. But bit by bit it's coming to the light, and well, I know now by this QHHT, my own, from the Sufi incarnation, that Venus is inhabited. And I remember some of the beings I saw there. Some even had wings. So I assume that there are angels or angel-like beings on Venus. And of course, a very advanced civilization that was said to be involved in the Ra law of one channeling material, because they already did the step that's our next step, more or less. They united into a social memory complex, which is something to ponder upon, because if you imagine that you unite in consciousness with all humans walking the earth right now, and you just kind of extrapolate your consciousness from right now, you won't get it, because higher consciousness you cannot imagine with a lower consciousness. That's a totally different kind of state. So I'm still pondering about a lot of things and finding answers or getting answers, because questions arise in me. And I just wanted to share that, well, think about it, start to question and have a different view about our solar system, and especially that wonderful being that took all the kind of victims from former wrongdoings or wronggoings via war and all that kind of stuff, because a lot of civilizations, not only in our solar systems, have to go through all kinds of learning phases and growing phases. Some eliminate themselves by abusing and destroying their planet, or they go to war and eliminate themselves and each others. If they can avoid that or come through that and come out the other end, then of course they are heavily changed. So in that kind of state, you're much more willing to unite in a different way. Humanity is already united, but only in the subconscious. So it's not conscious yet. And our next step, personally, I think, is melting with our higher self that already has the bigger picture, the bigger view, and knows so much more than we do. And of course, it has a different state of frequency vibration and a higher consciousness. And in general, for humanity, the next step is like in person, melting with your higher self. For all of us, it's the next step to kind of melt into a united consciousness, forming a new complex, which in the raw material is called a social memory complex. So that's what I wanted to share today. Leave you with something to ponder upon or be inspired to have a different view. Thank you very much for watching. Beautiful souls, blessings, love and light to you on your soul path. Bye.